How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the 12 Days Christmas, day 3. Now, okay, before we start, it should be day 5, but I kind of missed 2 days back to back, and I don't even know why. Yesterday, I was actually doing stuff all day, even after I got out of school, but the day before, I don't even know why I missed it. I shouldn't have. So, and I was gonna just extend it to get all 12 days out. I was just gonna go till the 27th instead of finishing on the 25th. But I thought, no, I want the 25th to be the last day. So then, because I think this is going to be a nice way to end the year off for my channel, and I might do a New Year's thing. Who knows? At this point, honestly, I'm so unpredictable. It's not even funny. But instead, I'm going to be doing 2 videos a day on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to get caught back up on after that. So Monday next week, we'll be back up to speed, and we'll be back up where we need to be. But anyway, on to what I was wanting to talk about. This has been something I've wanted to talk about for a couple days, actually, really a little bit since I found out about it. And it's a huge issue for people in the PC building community, or people, just anyone in general looking to build a computer or wants to buy one, even almost. And I think you all know what I'm going to talk about: the global RAM shortage. And I actually don't know if it's a global thing or if it's just here in the U.S. But for those of you who don't know or who just aren't very involved with this, because there's only 3 or 4 companies that mass produce RAM, there's really not a giant amount of RAM to be given out. And that's never really been that much of an issue. And I can't remember a RAM shortage ever being an issue in the past. But it's an issue now because there are a bunch of people a bunch of companies, I believe, that are going out and buying all the RAM out there to use it for AI. So RAM, if you look at Amazon, it's $400 for 16 gigs of DDR5. It's $400 on Amazon. It's nuts. Even on TikTok Shop, it's expensive. Literally nowhere. Even if you go to somewhere like AliExpress or something, literally anywhere that you could possibly buy it from, it is expensive as shit. And it doesn't help that the people that there are actually people. I saw this on TikTok earlier today. Apparently, someone got scammed on eBay or something. They bought RAM off eBay from a reseller, and they spent a couple $100. What it's going for on retail, which is nuts. Maybe a little less than retail. But they bought what they thought was 32 gigs of DDR5, and they ended up receiving DDR2 RAM, which is garbage. You can't really use that for anything. It's really sad that this is what this is, coming to. It's really stupid, especially for someone who if anyone wants to build a computer, they're going to be spending more on their RAM than they are on their GPU. If, say, you bought 16 gigs of RAM, that's probably again, that'd be, if I had to guess, close to double at sometimes what you're going to spend on your GPU. If you spend $200 on a GPU, yeah, you're spending double on your RAM than you are your GPU, which is nuts. And it's really, it sucks for people, and it's really becoming an issue. And I honestly don't think this is ever going to stop, or it won't stop for a while, because there are a bunch of different stages when high demand but low supply things. I actually saw someone on TikTok talk about this. He does. Now that I think about it, I can't remember his name. And he mentioned this, and I completely agree with him. He talked, and it really reminds me of when Pokemon was starting to get big again back in 2020-ish, when Logan Paul started doing it on his podcast. So when that happened, Pokemon started skyrocketing again in popularity. And this became an issue. Well, not really, but it became an issue because things like scalpers and resellers. So people, and as you guys know, scalpers. I didn't really know much about scalpers until maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, when it was becoming a huge issue. These days, you cannot even go to Walmart and find Pokemon cards. I actually haven't been hearing a lot about scalpers recently, so who knows? Maybe it's not as big of an issue as it was recently, or as it was before a few months ago. But then again, I haven't been very active, in Pokemon recently, so I really can't say for certain. But if it is, you can't even go to Walmart and find cards there. which really it really sucks. Honestly, it's so lame. So you have to end up spending like 3 times the retail price on resellers, on scalpers. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because scalping hasn't even started with this whole RAM shortage thing, and there are a bunch of different other phases that are yet to come. And the thing is, what sucks is that your best bet if you want a PC, you have to buy a pre-built, because that's the only way you're gonna get, you're gonna get RAM, or you're gonna get, you're gonna be able to get an affordable computer. Because the reason that this hasn't happened, or this hasn't started affecting pre-builts yet, and it's probably will very soon, is because these pre-built companies, they buy a bunch of parts in bulk. So they bought a shit ton of RAM before the prices start skyrocketing, meaning that they have boxes on boxes of RAM to put in the pre-build. So they'll still be able to sell them at a reasonable price. So, but once those are gone, it's going to be an issue, which really sucks. It really does suck. It really, really sucks. I think, honestly, at this point, it's like, I don't even know at this point, really. And thankfully, this isn't be an issue for me. Wow, what am I doing? That was the ugliest bridging. That was the ugliest staircase I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, point is, this is a really rough situation because, this would be so demoralizing to anyone who is hoping to spend $1,000 on a computer, because that's a decent, $1,000, that should get you a decent system. You'll be able to get like if I had to guess, like a 4060 system, maybe a 50, maybe not that much, but like a 4060 system, But these days, if you want that, it's going to cost you probably like close to $1,400, $1,300, because of how much the RAM has gone up, and that it's just not even worth buying. It's so stupid. So yeah, if anyone is trying to buy a computer right now, buy a pre-built. It's really just not worth it right now, and it sucks. It really does. Thankfully, as I said earlier, this isn't an issue for me. My computer, I've already got it, or I've already ordered it and stuff. I'm gonna have it. So starting next year, probably I'm gonna start making content like I used to. Really just kind of depends, but that's not really important right now. So hopefully that this whole issue is resolved. I really don't think it will be for a few years at the very least. And apparently, I don't know if this is true, but apparently people on Kalshi are making bets on stuff. Apparently people are wanting there to be like a federal law or something around this, and I don't remember exactly what the law says, but there is some sort of law about it, and I don't really remember exactly what it is, but it's wild that they're hoping that the government will come in and bat for them, because there's no other option. And especially in this economy, there's no way people are just gonna have $400 to throw at some RAM. That's wild. That's so unbelievably stupid. But yeah, this story will probably keep. There'll probably be more stuff coming out about this. In the future. Especially with like pretty soon, because this is a newer thing. This is like a recent development, I guess is the right word. So yeah, I think we'll find out more about this. It's really hard to tell how long this is going to last, considering how recent this is. But yeah, see ya.